Hey gamers, it's your boy MtG here back with another Magic video, and today I'm going to be doing a interesting take, well I think it's interesting at least, an interesting take on Selesnya Enchantments. So most of the Selesnya Enchantments decks you're going to be seeing are running Transcendent Envoy alongside Setessan Champion and a bunch of auras to try to build up these giant creatures and attack over the head of your opponent, or attack through your opponent if you give them trample and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good way to activate Setessan Champion, draw a ton of cards, and just win quickly. But I'm doing a kind of control version that does not use Transcendent Envoy, but instead uses Starfield Mystic to enable you to cast enchantments cheaper, because most of the enchantments we're casting are not auras, so we can't really use Transcendent Envoy. So we're running a Setessan Champion, obviously, because it's a good way to scale up power on the board. This becomes generally a pretty big creature after we play a couple of enchantments, but it also draws us cards, which is very, very important in this deck. So let's look at the enchantments we're playing. So first of all, we're playing first Iroan Games, which is something I haven't seen played a whole lot, and I really wanted to play it. It creates a human soldier token on stage 1. Stage 2, you put 3+1/+1 counters on a target creature you control. And then on stage 3, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw 2 cards. So this is another way for us to draw cards. So for instance, if we don't draw Setessan Champion, but we do draw first Iroan Games, generally down the line, we're going to be drawing cards. Issues that come up with this are obviously if we put counters on a creature and then that creature gets killed before we can draw those cards. Stage 3 can definitely not do anything on occasion for us, which is a huge bummer, of course, but not the end of the world because we do get a fair amount of other value out of this card. Other stuff, we're running normal things that you might see in an enchantment deck like Birth of Meletis to give us a little bit of card advantage and gain us some life, which is surprisingly important in this deck. Since it is control, we want ways to gain life. We are running one Heliod Sun Crown because this is another way we can give creatures lifelink with this, and that's actually surprisingly very important in the late game. A lot of times the games will kind of drag on and our opponent will just chip us down because we don't have a lot of ways to gain life. So I put one Heliod Sun Crown in here to give us another creature, give us another potential strong creature in the late game, but also give us a way to gain some life throughout the game. We're also running a single Dawn of Hope, kind of for the same reason as Heliod Sun Crown. It gives us ways to spend our mana in the late game. We can draw cards if we're gaining life with this, but we can also create tokens with this. So that's pretty nice. Obviously, we're going to be running Elspeth Conquers Death. That's probably goes without saying because this card is really, really strong right now. We want to be exiling a lot of things with converted mana cost 3 or greater, so this is really solid. But it also gives us ways to kind of shut down our opponent for a turn with the stage 2, and then stage 3 can bring back our Calix, which we are playing, bring back our Calix or other creatures from our graveyard like Starfield Mystic or Setessan Champion if they're killed early. So that's solid. Other than that, we're mostly just running removal like Banishing Light and Conclave Tribunal. This is definitely good removal, but we're running also Banishing Light to get some removal early in the game. If we have Starfield Mystic, Banishing Light gets playable with 2 mana, which is really, really strong. Things that are unusual about this deck. We're running 2 Divine Visitations and 2 Arasta of the Endless Web. So Divine Visitation makes any tokens that would enter the battlefield under our control or would be created under our control, we create 4/4 white angel creature tokens instead. This is also something that gives us tokens, but it's also an enchantment. So this is really good because we can cast it for cheaper than 4, and it also activates Setessan Champion, which is really solid, and it creates tokens for us throughout the game if our opponent is casting instants and sorceries. There are definitely a couple of decks that will play against that. This is kind of a dead card, but a lot of decks where this is very important, like Azorius Control that wants to cast a lot of instants and sorceries, along with Dimir, Mono Black, things like that want to cast a lot of removal and hand hate and things like that. Arasta is very good against those decks. It's also a legendary, so we're only playing 2. I've definitely had some situations where we drew too many of these and it was just not very good. An interesting thing we are playing is Destiny Spinner. Since Azorius Control has been very annoying, I will say this, I haven't seen it played that much over the past week or so. I don't really know what changed, but it was really strong and really prevalent before that. So I'm playing Destiny Spinner, which says creature and enchantment spells you control can't be countered, which is very, very important in some matchups like Mono Blue and Azorius Control. Both like to counter a lot of spells. I guess Simic Flash too, but Simic Flash isn't really played a whole lot right now. But anyway, this is an enchantment creature that makes our stuff uncounterable, and it's very, very solid. If we have a Starfield Mystic on the field, we can play this for 1 mana, which can be solid and makes our stuff uncounterable, which is really good. It also has a potential late game, late game way to spend our mana to create an elemental creature out of one of our lands, and should be a pretty strong elemental creature because we'll probably have a lot of enchantments on the field, so that's pretty nice. Other than that, I don't think there's really anything else to talk about this deck. I kind of mentioned briefly we are playing 2 Calix Destiny's Hand. I wouldn't probably play more than this, but he comes in handy quite often, actually. So his -3 is really solid, especially if you have a Banishing Light or a Conclave Tribunal already on the field. You can essentially just put another one of your opponent's creatures or their enchantments underneath our Conclave Tribunal with Banishing Light to exile it temporarily, or it's just kind of a draw engine. We look at the top 4 cards and reveal an enchantment to put it into our hand. So this is a way to keep our deck running, but it also is just a way to kind of keep your opponent's focus off of your health total and onto Calix, because he's pretty decent in this deck, but it also can kind of protect us. So he's a good card for that. Also, his -7, if we ever get to his ultimate, is really, really strong because we'll probably be putting back like a bunch of Elspeth Conquers Deaths from our graveyard to the field, which can kind of win the game for us. So that's pretty solid. I should note briefly that we are only playing 23 lands in this deck. Since we are playing Fabled Passages and Birth of Meletis, I feel like we have ways to go into our deck and get lands out of it, so we don't really need to play 24, 25, even though this is kind of a control deck. We have enough ways to draw cards and get lands out of our deck that we don't need to play a lot of lands. So let's jump into this, and hopefully, hopefully we can get some wins. I've had a fair bit of success with this deck in the ranked queue. Decks that we fare really well against are like other mid-range decks we do pretty solid against, but Rakdos Sacrifice, we really struggle against that deck because we want to sacrifice sagas and we want to drag the game out, and we don't have a lot of ways to gain life, so it can definitely be a bummer to just be poked down by your opponent's Mayhem Devils over and over again. So that's not great. And it looks like we're probably up against Rakdos Sacrifice here, so that's great. A little hand hate, so they probably exile. Oh, they get rid of Heliod instead of Setessan Champion, which is interesting. We'll go another Temple Garden here, and we get a Setessan Champion on turn 3. So this may be Rakdos Sacrifice, or it could be just Grixis Control. So we'll play Setessan Champion. I'm thinking they might just kill it immediately with a Midnight or a Murderous Rider. Yep, there's a Murderous Rider. Okay, well we do have a second Setessan Champion. Fingers crossed they don't have more removal for it. Okay, so they don't have immediate removal at least because they played their Murderous Rider out. So we'll do that, play Setessan Champion, and we're flooding pretty bad here. So hopefully they don't have removal. I'm going to not block because I'm a little wary that they have a way to kill Setessan Champion here. Flame Sweep. Yeah, okay. So I think they wanted us to block and then they could Flame Sweep us. Interesting choice that... Uh-oh. Dang. Okay, so they use double removal, which is not great, especially because we're only drawing lands right now. I think we don't use Conclave Tribunal on Murderous Rider. I think we just hold. Really, really disappointing start here. Not great. But this is like a Rakdos mid-range, I guess, or a Rakdos control of some sort. Really strange deck. Not something you see very often. Come on, man. This is really annoying. Just in case they have another Carnage, I'm going to go ahead and Conclave Tribunal the Murderous Rider here, because I don't want to be forced to discard it. Okay, it looks like they're flooding as well, which is pretty okay. Like, it's pretty good, I mean, because we are getting absolutely screwed by mana flood, dude. This is the whole reason we play 23 lands in the deck, is so we don't just draw lands. And that's literally all I've drawn all game. Actually, all I've drawn is lands. And we started with a 3-land hand, right? So our first 5 turns, we drew lands. It's so frustrating. Okay. Dread Presence is not great, because they can draw cards or just deal damage to me and my stuff. So, okay, first Iroan games. I guess it works. I think we're just dead, right? Like, we're just dead. We create a token, they play a swamp, kill the token, and then attack me for 7, and then I die. Yeah. We're pretty much toast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gotta block it, and then this does nothing on stage 2 because okay, we're dead. Good game. Yeah, so Rakdos control. Really, we got totally screwed by Flood this game. This is horrible. Yeah, oh, okay. Even on the last turn of the game, we can't draw anything but lands. So that was pretty disappointing. Pretty disappointing show. So hopefully game 2 will not be as bad as that. Direct messaging is here. I just saw this. You can DM people in this game? Interesting. Okay. We'll have to check out that feature at some point. Speaking of which, playing with your friends on MtG Arena. If you are new to the channel and you want to potentially play with other people, or at least just talk about Magic with other people, there's a link to the Discord, to our Discord, in the description of this video. If you want to join that, that description will be down below the screen. Okay. Not a bad hand. I think we can keep it, because we get Destiny Spinner on turn 2, or Starfield Mystic on turn 2. Okay. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay. Grixis control probably here. But if they don't kill Starfield Mystic here... Ooh, we gotta discard a card, huh? Discard a card. I'm actually gonna... Ooh, I don't want to discard that. I think I discard Destiny Spinner, actually. Play out Arasta of the Endless Web, because they're probably going to be playing a lot of instants and sorceries, so we want to get those tokens. And if we can play Divine Visitation on turn 4, those tokens become extra good. But they may just kill Arasta right here. Wouldn't be all that surprising if they did. You don't see Disinformation Campaign played all that often anymore. Okay, Thought Erasure. They probably exile Divine Visitation. Seems like the move. Yep, that's smart. This is why we play Arasta. For hand hate decks. Okay, they concede. Yep, I guess we just kind of counter their deck with Arasta, and they didn't have removal, so seems like seems good. pretty solid. After a horrible game 1, a quick concede feels okay. All right, Marcus, show me what you got. Okay, good start with Starfield Mystic, potentially into Conclave Tribunal the next turn. Okay, solid. If this is Dimir control, okay, if they Thought Erasure, probably get rid of my Setessan Champion, but honestly, we really could use Destiny Spinner in this matchup, I think, because they're probably going to want to run counterspells. They may discard Destiny Spinner. Okay, Starfield Mystic. That's fine. Not great, but it's fine. Okay, another Grixis matchup. That's odd. That's very odd. Okay, so we go Destiny Spinner, so they can't really just counterspell us. But they probably have another Thought Erasure or an Agonizing, whatever, whatchamacallit. Agonizing Remorse, that's the card. So they exile my Setessan Champion. In a completely unsurprising turn of events. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to attack here. I want to play the Fabled Passage now to strip a land out of the deck to make it slightly less likely that I draw a land next turn. Drill Bit for 3. And that's great. Great, great, great. Okay, I guess we go first Iroan Games here. Make a token. We attack for 2. They probably have a Ritual of Soot that they're about to pop on me. Ah, Croxa, huh? Or Croxa. Okay, discard a card. We'll discard Plains because we want our Conclave Tribunal. Drill Bit. Awesome. Really great. Okay, so we get to turn that into a 2/2 and attack. So we actually take them to 7 there. We have no cards in our hand. If they have a Ritual of Soot, I think we die. But if... Okay, Vicious Rumors is fine. Croxa is also fine because we get to draw 2 cards this turn. Oh, we win, right? Do we win? Okay, yeah. Weird deck, weird matchups right here. Those Grixis decks are kind of odd. It's like hand hate early on, and so if you get stuff onto the board and they don't draw sweepers, then they just lose, I guess. I don't know. Odd. Odd. My hair is looking kind of goofy today, not gonna lie. It's got like a big lump on one side. Maybe that's just my skull. Got a lumpy skull, you know? We don't have a Birth of Meletis to get us an extra land. So it feels risky to keep this. But I kind of want to keep it because we have a lot of ways to enable this hand anyway. If we draw a Starfield Mystic or a Birth of Meletis, this hand is actually still really, like, it's still fine if we draw either of those. Or just draw a land, so, like, it works. Okay, that's fine. So we go Destiny Spinner. And turn 3, if they play something I don't like, we can Banishing Light on it. Okay, so we draw lands, which is good. And our crap can't be countered, so... If they're playing Simic Flash, we're great. Okay, Simic Ramp, though. Simic Ramp. So we'll go ahead and play Arasta here. I want to hold... I'm not too concerned with their Risen Reef. I'm more concerned with if they play a Nissa on this turn. Or if they play a bunch of ramp spells. Okay, Cavalier of Gales. Okay. We can get Divine Visitation out this turn. This may be a deck where it does nothing, because it looks like they're probably going to play Nissa and Hydroid Crisis in this deck, instead of... But I'm going to go ahead and play it, just to get it out, because I don't necessarily want to Banishing Light their Cavalier of Gales right now. Okay, Risen Reef. So they're ramping pretty hard here. Pretty serious. Oh my lord. Ah, the triple Risen Reef. This is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Yep. 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 Okay, we take the damage from that. It's fine. We can exile that right now. So we'll go Elspeth Conquers Death. Exile the crap out of that. Then I'll attack with Arasta. Okay. So they have what? Nine lands. Agent of Treachery. Sick, dude. Really cool. Leafkin Druid. Are they going to make tokens with this deck? I don't think so. I think they just wanted to get that out of, like, my possession. They probably have ways... Oh, they're probably playing Thassa so they can bounce Agent of Treachery. Pretty lame, if you ask me. Okay, so we'll go Birth of Meletis. Get a Plains. Play the Plains. I can go Destiny Spinner and a Conclave Tribunal on their Agent of Treachery. Just because I'm expecting them to play Thassa with this deck, and so I don't want them to be able to bounce that and keep stealing my crap, so yeah. Okay, so they take the hit on Leafkin Druid, which makes sense because they have a handful of 8 cards now. And we don't have a... Yep, there's Thassa. As expected, so that's game. I mean, what are we going to do? They can steal more of my stuff, right? We're just dead. I'll go ahead and concede that. Well done, opponent. We had a crappy start. Not having Starfield Mystic and not having Setessan Champion is just, it's a game. It's like a game killer, you know. We got to be able to draw cards. We couldn't draw cards, so pretty sad. But that's okay. It's okay. We'll jump into another game. See how this one goes. Moreg. It's a very Scottish, maybe. You didn't want to hear my Scottish accent, I'm sure. Sorry. Okay, this is a good hand. So we go Birth of Meletis turn 2, which gets us the land we need to play Setessan Champion on turn 3. So we are all right. You know what card I miss? Legion's Landing. That's what it was called, right? Legion's Landing. The one mana enchantment that turned into a land for mono white. Holy crap, that card was good. I missed that a lot. I miss when mono white was awesome. When we had Legion's Landing, History of Benalia. Whew. Man, that was good stuff. I wonder if historic mono white with Starfield Mystic and Divine Visitation is good. You could run Heliod in there for sure. Do we go? I think I actually play Birth of Meletis this turn instead of Starfield Mystic because it's more important that I get my 3rd land now than playing Starfield Mystic. Because this means that I can go Setessan Champion next turn, and then I can Starfield Mystic and play other crap. Okay, so another Simic ramp deck. Another Simic ramp deck. So we're gonna have to outdraw them essentially. Okay. So it's turn 3, and they've got 5 lands on the field because that's how this works. There's Fibblethip. Okay, so let's go Setessan Champion. We could double up Setessan Champion. Yeah, but that's so slow. That's just very slow. Okay, so they're going to try to self-mill, I guess. Yeah, they're self-milling. Arasta of the Endless Web feels very good against this deck, but I definitely need to get Divine Visitation as well. Oh, also Bant. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Here we go. We can go Starfield Mystic and then Banishing Light, Jace. Get that Jace out of here. Then attack for 2. Okay, so they're gonna bring back Uro, can they? Yeah, if they block with Fibblethip, that actually lets them bring back Uro on the next turn, which is, ew. Not great. It's not great. But you know what is great is that I can go Starfield Mystic and then Arasta of the Endless Web next turn. Or I can go Birth of Meletis. I can go Setessan Champion, Birth of Meletis. Huh. Another Fibblethip. Oof. Ugh. Yeah, we need that card draw, so we got to do this. It sets us back a little bit because we can't play. Oh yeah, we can. We can go another Birth of Meletis. Okay, that was actually good. Good draw. Okay, solid. We can pop off a few turns from now. I'm actually going to discard a Destiny Spinner because I want to keep the lands. I maybe should have discarded the planes. I probably should have discarded the planes because this is a cantrip essentially, like a 1-mana cantrip, but I've got another one. Okay, so I think next, ooh, Cavalier Thorns. It's a bit scary. Spark Double, Agent of Treachery. Yeah, another deck running Agent of Treachery. Gotta love that. You gotta... Oof. Oof. Put 2 Agents of Treachery into the graveyard along with a Spark Double. We'll block that. That's fine by me. Okay. Feels like Arasta of the Endless Web is good against this deck. So, yeah. Oof. Oof. Okay.
It's a matter of give and take.
Elspeth Conquers Death. Oh, which I can't play because I don't have the mana for it. But I can play first Iroan games. Maybe we can draw into a Conclave Tribunal or Banishing Light here. Nope. Okay. Try to kill their Jace. There's a shouting child outside my room. Hopefully you can't hear that. They're saying no over and over again. Okay, so, ooh, oh, that was dumb. Yeah, because they get Agent of Treachery. We discard the planes. So they can Agent of Treachery. What would they steal? Probably Arasta of the Endless Web or Setessan Champion, right? Oh, I should have double blocked that. What was I thinking? I could easily have double blocked and killed that. Okay, so they steal my Setessan Champion, which is not great, but I think... Charming Prince. So they bounce Agent of Treachery. Wait. Why would you bounce? Okay, yeah. Bounce Agent of Treachery. Bring it back. Steal my other Setessan Champion. Huh. I think we exile Jace over anything else. Then we go first to our own games. We create a token, which is an angel. No attacks because we need Arasta to be a blocker. Yikes. Okay. Jinkies. So we have all these Destiny Spinners in our hand, but they don't really do anything because we lost our Setessan Champions. So that these don't cantrip anymore. We still definitely have a chance of winning because we get to draw cards with first Iroan games. And then we make something, we can make our angel bigger. The only issue is if they have a Thassa and they can, so they spark double Agent of Treachery, probably steal Divine Visitation. They steal Elspeth Conquers Death. That is interesting. Charming Prince, so they bounce their Agent of Treachery again, steal Divine Visitation. I guess I just keep assuming they steal that. Maybe they steal Arasta instead. Because it does have reach. Okay, I'm gonna block and kill this. Obviously they can bring it back and draw a card with it, but they have to exile a bunch of cards from their graveyard. Night of Autumn destroys Divine Visitation. So there goes that. But these boys are getting stronger. So that's something. Fibble flip. Okay, an Agent of Treachery is going to come back here. During their instep. So I gotta remember that. And what do they steal though? Maybe they steal first Iroan games actually, so they draw cards with it next turn? Or they steal Arasta? Yeah, okay. So, Setessan Champion. Yeah, we'll follow that up with Dawn of Hope. I think we need a forest here. We can go Arasta. Can't play Calix here. We can play Destiny Spinner, Cantrip. So they're gonna probably draw themselves out. So the thing is, we just really need them to mill themselves out and not have a Jace on the field. We can't attack with the Angel because it's not big enough to get over Arasta because we put counters on it like an idiot. Ooh, that's rough. I'm wondering if they don't have another Jace. So maybe a deck like this only plays one Jace as like a a backup win con. And so if they don't have another one, they have to be really careful about how many cards they draw, except that they're going to draw 3 cards at the end of each end step with Agent of Treacheries. So that puts them on a pretty short clock. So bring back Oro. Yeah, we essentially just have to watch out for Jace. And I'm guessing they're just going to hold Jace in their hand until, I don't know, until their last turn, and they can win with him. Another Agent of Treachery. So they steal my Setessan Champion again. Nice. Nice. We want them to draw themselves out here. Okay, so I think what they're trying to get me to do is to block and kill their stuff so that they don't mill out. What I'm going to do instead is take a little bit of damage. Keeping as much of my stuff alive as possible. Yep. Okay, that's perfect. We take no damage and none of our creatures die if we do this. No, this dies, and that's fine. Because, yeah, I think that they're trying to get me to kill my own stuff so that they don't have to draw a million cards with Agent of Treachery. But I want them to draw a million cards so that they mill out. Yep, that's funny. That's funny. They have 8 cards in their deck now. So really we just have to be, I guess, oh, the thing is though, if they have a Jace in their hand next turn, they win. But if they don't, then they lose because they mill themselves out. So there's that. Ooh. Let's see. I feel like I actually need to exile this. I mean, we can't really respond if they play a Jace, so I think, I mean, we got to see if they have him, if they have one. If they don't, then we win. So we deal some damage. We'll go ahead and play a Destiny Spinner, get the card draw, see if we can play anything. Okay, we can't play anything. That's fine. If they don't have a Jace, they lose. Because they're going to draw a million cards. By a million, I mean they're going to draw, they have to draw 9 cards. So if they draw into a Jace here, they win. They have 4 cards left. They have to be careful. They also probably want to go for the kill. But I don't think they can. I don't think they have the power for it. This is such an interesting matchup. What a wacky game. Honestly, I won't even be mad if I lose this game. But I will be very happy if I win. Spark Double. Okay. Spark Double, Agent of Treachery. They steal that. Or... yeah, but they can't attack with it. They're just trying to get it out of the way. They have 3 of my Setessan Champions. That is not cool at all. It's really not cool. Okay, can they kill me? Big question. Okay, so they attack all here. Attack all. They draw a card. They have 3 cards left in their hand, so I need them to have 3 of my permanents. We gotta not die. Very important that we don't die. Okay, sorry. I'm going to not talk while I think this through. So that's 6, 12, 18. Whew. 6, 12. Oh, wait, actually, we want to block there. We got to force them to draw cards. They what 2, 4, 6, 7 damage. All good, baby. All good. Fingers crossed they don't have a Jace. I think they don't. I think they, like I said, I'm pretty sure they only run a single Jace, so that if they accidentally mill themselves out, they win instead of losing. But I exiled their only Jace permanently. They can't get it back. So we should be Gucci. When they pass to the end step, they're going to draw, like, yeah, 12 cards. Yep. Let's go! Let's go, dude. That's hilarious. That is awesome. I love that so much. Oh, you got to run more than one Jace, my guy. You got to, baby. Well, gamers, that's it for this deck. I hope you enjoyed the video. That last game was pretty interesting, at least. But yeah, let me know what you think of this deck in the comments below. I'm always interested to see what you think and what you want to see from me next. I do appreciate your viewership and your constant support. Good luck out there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.